Hello everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, August 22nd, 2025, and this is Flosstube video number 55. I'm back with another weekly update. I had a temperature project finish this week. It was a small one, but it's one that will be one that I will continue to get finishes on when I get to work on them. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cough today. I'm a little hoarse. My oldest is home today from school because she wasn't feeling very well. So I wasn't going to make her suffer through school today. So let's get right into it. I still haven't gone shopping yet. I still haven't gone to the local fabric store to see if they have that Krynic that I need. I think after I film this video and do my editing, I will probably try to run out to get it. It does say that it's a pearl blending filament. It says 032 pearl blending filament. I checked so I've said before about the very, very first Teresa Wentzler that I ever tried to do was the peacock tapestry, and it was 25 count fabric that came with the kit over one, and I just was too much of a newbie to do blends over one on 25 count fabric. And it's not like it was even like a pre-gridded fabric. It was like a 25 count even weave. So it was just difficult for me. So anyway, I still have all the floss and the beads and the blending filament, and there's a gold thread. I still have all of that, minus the little bit that I used, and I don't have the fabric and I don't have the pattern anymore. Eventually, that will be my redemption piece, but that's not planned for a while. So anyway, I went downstairs to check what that kit had, and I was going to steal the blending filament if it was what I needed, but the blending filament in that particular project was more of a, I couldn't tell if it was black or if it was like a rainbow, like a peacock hued filament. So I was just like, that's not the right one. So I do have to go and see if they have it. But project number one is my favorite designer, and it is the Woodland Faerie. And the pearl filament is used in the wings. It says to do the blend for the first leg, and then for the pink areas, complete all stitching using the symbol in the chart. Then add one strand of Krynic blending over the top leg to finish. So I don't know if they want me to finish the X and then do the pearl over it, or if I'm supposed to do the blend one way and the pearl the other way. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the blend plus the pearl all together on the needle, because I'm doing 28 count fabric even weave. This is called Flower Champagne from Fabric Flair, and I don't know how well you can tell, but it's just a pale pink hues with a little bit of an orangey, almost rust kind of color. It's just very pale. So anyway, I would like to work on the wings. It goes up the curve this way. So I've just been working in the background so much, and I'm really tired of the green blends that are in here. Some of them are full crosses and some of them are half crosses. Like in through here, these more creamy colors, those are half crosses, and then the more darker colors that you see in through here are full crosses. And these eggplant lady slippers, I don't know what they are. those are in there. So I'm really going to try to go out to the store today to see if they have it, because I'm just tired of the greens and I want to start working on her wings a little bit. So project number 2 is either a Blackwork or a sampler, and I've been alternating them month to month, and I've only been working on one of each. The Fair has a Blackwork category and a sampler category. So since project 1 and project 2 are pretty much what I'm trying to make for the fairs, that's what I'm doing. Which, by the way, the county fair starts today. So I don't know if we're going tonight or if it will be tomorrow or Sunday. I just don't know. So anyway, project number 2 is a Blackwork piece, and this is one that I started last year. And it is practical Blackwork, and it's called Pentecost. And here is my progress. So the last time I showed you, I was up in this section and I hadn't fully completed this center motif, but now I've finished it. I think that I had like the outer parts. I just needed to finish this. And so I have been working my way up and over, and I finished this motif. And then yesterday I started down in this center motif. So I finished out the cross and the little design around it, and I'm working on the ivy. So I've gotten a lot done on this, and I honestly expect this one to get finished next week. It's just a little bit more. So yeah, I forgot to give my times. Did it again. I always forget things. So, rewinding, project 1, I got to work on 3 hours, 41 minutes, and 22 seconds. That has brought my total time to 27 hours, 1 minute, and 28 seconds. Project number 2. My fabric is an 18 count Aida that I hand dyed myself, and it was an Aida fabric that I just randomly got off the marketplace. So I don't know what manufacturer, I don't know anything about it, but it is an 18 count Aida that I hand dyed myself. So for project number 2, I got to work on it 3 hours, 48 minutes, and 16 seconds, and that's brought my total time to 120 hours, 10 minutes, and 11 seconds. So close to being done. Okay, let's see if I can remember to get it right this time. Project number 3 is my wish list project, and it is Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is Amy Brown, and it is called Faerie Risqué. The fabric is a 22 count Hardinger that I hand dyed myself. And I forgot to say this pattern is the no background version. The fabric I tried to dye similarly. Okay. Turn a little bit. Nope, that's going to put a shadow. Okay. Okay. So I have just been working in the hair and across the shoulder, and I am all the way in this block over here right before the hair starts. So I have a little bit to go in this block before I continue more. And project 3, I worked on it 3 hours, 53 minutes, and 57 seconds, and it's brought my total time to 136 hours, 1 minute, and 8 seconds. So I did get to work on it all 4 days of the week. This is the only one in Pattern Keeper this time, so I can give you these stats. Of the 4 days I worked, I got 115 stitches, 110 stitches, 109 stitches, and 141 stitches. And I am at 13,697 stitches out of 74,797, and I am at 18.31%. And then project 4. Is my Stashbuster piece. This is something that I have been carrying around in my possession for years, since 2002. It is a Plaid Bucilla kit. Donna Dewberry is the artist, and it is called Hummingbird and Floral. I did not use the provided Aida in the kit. I did purchase a 14 count Aida from Michaels, that it was the Charles Craft Aida 14 count, and I hand dyed it myself in shades of blue so that it sort of looks like the sky. I have finished the back stitching on the flowers. So all the back stitching is done on the flowers. Except I still haven't gone back to this one to put a second thread of white. But still, that's okay. And even if I don't, nobody will know. So I counted over and started working on the hummingbird. And this hummingbird is a chonky boy. He's a chonker. I didn't realize how chonky he was until I'm stitching his face, and I was like, whoa. So yeah, the last time you saw it, I was over in here doing backstitch. I'm getting really tired of this Q-snap. This is the one. This is the project that I used to leave in my car when I was waiting to pick up the kids from school. And so I think the heat from the sun distorted the clamps a little, and now I just can't get it tight enough. So I need new ones, but not gonna be able to. Okay, so that, oh, the time. It's in this book. It is. So this week I got to work on it 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 18 seconds. And that has brought my total time to 96 hours, 23 minutes, and 37 seconds. If I forgot to mention it earlier, Project 2, Project 3, and Project 4 are ones that I worked on all last year. They were the ones that I started my YouTube channel with, and by the time November rolled around, I was sick of the 4 projects. And then I just kept working, just kept chugging along. And then in December, I decided I was going to switch it up, start a whole bunch of new projects, and just alternate them month to month. And so far, that's working for me. I am not bored with my projects, and I'm happy to switch the next month and, you know, work on something that I haven't worked on in a few months. So yeah, so these ones are from last year, and so I cannot wait to get these finishes. Like two of them, I'm so close to getting the finish on. So then for my project stitching or project temperature projects, I picked 10 projects like the other YouTubers have done. And then I've labeled them 0 through 9, and I am using Fahrenheit for my temperatures. But every morning I'll look at my weather widget and I'll look at what the high temperature is projected to be for the day. I'll take a screenshot, and then that will be what temperature project I do whenever I have the time. I've been a little naughty and I haven't quite been doing that this past week. It's kind of been like, oh, this is out. I'm just going to work on this kind of thing, sort of. So last week, the project that was supposed to be for the temperature on Friday, and I said, if anything gets touched, it will probably be this was one of the printed cross stitches. And it's this one, this white and purple peacock. And I did get to work on it a little bit on Friday. And then because it was out over the weekend, that was just what I worked on. So from the last time you've seen it, I've had quite a bit of progress, because the last time you saw it, I think I had one full and then maybe a partial in here. So this is mostly 310, and then it starts fading into a blue going this way. And so I don't know if showing it backwards will show, because there are a few colors that were at the top and I just carried it down. I think this is 11 count canvas. And because this is a canvas, I've been stitching it in that way where you take the needle through the top and then push it out through the bottom and then just pull it to make the leg of your axe. I do that for the bottom, and then when I go back, I do the individual stitches two-handed. But I only do that when I'm working on these pre-printed, because this is like a canvas. So that is what got worked on Friday and the weekend. And then watching television with my husband while we were watching Alone and the ghost hunting shows, I worked again on the diamond Afghans. This didn't come up in rotation, but this is by far the easiest thing to do while watching TV with my husband. So this is probably going to get worked on until it's finished. And then I'll have to see how big my other pieces of monk's cloth fabric are. I've been carrying around some monk's cloth fabric for years. So like I don't even remember the colors that I have. I just know that I have some. I think I have a white one. So I have to decide if I want to do another diamond Afghan or if I want to go through my patterns and pick a different pattern that calls to me and then see what yarn I have. So anyway, I've been doing this one that's calling it the monk's cloth diamond Afghans. It's also called Swedish weaving and huck weaving. And the pattern that I'm working on is this one right here. And I started working on this sometime while we lived in Arizona. Okay. So I'm still not in the top, but I'm almost finished with the bottom area. Okay, so this is the centerpiece and my diamonds. I didn't do a lot of diamonds because this fabric is small, and I actually am trying to figure out how much further I can go down on the design because I am almost done. I might just leave it at this. I haven't decided yet, but here's where I am. And if I leave it at this, then I'm ready to start working on this side. I think last time I was about here-ish. So I think I've done from here down. And then for the actual temperature stitching, on the 18th, it was 83 degrees. On the 19th, it was 82 degrees. On the 20th, it was 84 degrees. On the 21st, it was 87 degrees. And today, it's supposed to be 84. And we're supposed to get rain this afternoon. I love how the weather fluctuates here in Colorado. It's kind of crazy. So, 3 on the 18th was wire wrap. And so I went downstairs. I was trying to figure out if, oh, I dropped one of my bodkin needles. Where's that? It's under here. Okay. Not good if you lose your needles. I think I only have those 3 needles. Okay, so anyway, 3 was wire wrap. So I went downstairs and I decided I was going to finish that wire wrap piece that I started months ago. And I'm pretty sure that I showed it when I went through all of my temperature projects when I was showing what they all were. So I went and grabbed that and I pulled up the tutorial, and I'll leave the tutorial in the description below so that if you want to go watch it, you can see. So the tutorial I followed was Kelly J Jewelry. And before the last time I showed it, it was just the tree that I had finished. So I added the weaving around and the loops and the bead at the top, and it comes down, and the bead at the bottom. The only thing is I did not follow the tutorial at the bottom. I didn't like how hers looked as she did the bottom. So I did it like this, but I'm not entirely sold on the double loops down here. So I might alter it more and make this bead's a little loose on this piece. So I want to bring them closer and tighten up that bead a little. But I did work and finish a wire wrapping piece. And this is like the second time that I've done any wire wrapping since I had the carpal tunnel surgery. So on the 19th, it was 82 degrees, and that was the purple landscape, but I did not work on it. I actually was still finishing this. So I worked on this 2 days. It was out, and I was like, I really, really want to finish this instead of waiting, because since I started doing this, it hasn't been called. So this was the first time it got called. So I was like, I really, really need to finish it. So this was my finish of my temperature projects. And then on the 20th, it was 84 degrees, and that day I opted to continue working on my Hummingbird and Floral instead, and so I put a little bit of extra time into that one. And then on the 21st, yesterday, it was 87 degrees, and this was one that hadn't been called yet before too. And that's the hooded crochet scarf. And so this is the book that I am using. And this is book number 1. There is a second book, but it's book number 1 that I'm using. And I am doing this one here because the yarn that I have is a variegated yarn, and since I could see how the variegated would work, I went with this one. So I'm not very far into it, but this is the yarn that I'm using. This I got from Joann's right before they went out of business. This was one of the few things that was left in the store when I went in. So it's a pink to bluish purple, blurple. It's a pink to blurple. Does it have a name? Light Bright is the color. And so I actually have 2 of these because this is not the one that my hook is attached to. And so it's long, and it had me do like 281 chains. It's long. And then after that, it had me single crochet in the 41st chain. So I've got this, which I think is a loop to stick the scarf end down through. I think. I have no idea. I'm just following the directions. So then after the single crochet in that 40th, 41st, whatever it was, it had me single crochet along the line. So when I started, it was more pink. And then it had slowly started transforming into the purple blurple color. So that's where I am. I have a long way to go on this, and I don't know if it'll ever get chosen again. I'm almost done with the single crochets to the end here. So that was it then. That was it on my projects. Now, today it's supposed to be 84, which is the beaded flowers. I might go out and get it from my car to work on it. I might not. I might just continue working on this. I don't know. I've been very lackadaisical with my temperature projects. It's just like, I work on that all the time. I'm not going to work on it today. Kind of like. And that is it. That is all of my projects that I've worked on in the past week. So I will go ahead and get this edited and get this out to you, and then I will try my best to get to the fabric store to see if they have that Krynic there. They might not. I might have to drive all the way up to Denver to that specialty store in order to get it. Or I might see if there's an equivalent in petite treasure braids. I might switch it out. I'll have to see. I'll have to see. Because overall, I'm not a fan of blending filaments. I would rather use a Krynic instead of a filament, or a petite treasure braid instead of a filament. So I'll have to see. Anyway, I will see everyone next week. Next week is the last Friday of the month, so I will show you what I will be switching to for the month of September, which it's back to the projects that I did in January. So, see everyone then.